Hello, fellow mutants.
Hello, fellow mutants. Welcome back to another video. Sorry. And in this video, we're going to talk about how, well, we all know Nightmare Before Christmas, right? About a skeleton wanting to essentially um give like a skeleton that's a king of Halloween, kind of scared of the same old thing. Um and so he essentially invades Christmas. That's the whole basic plot of Nightmare Before Christmas. I essentially learned, say, hey, maybe I should stay in my lane towards the end of the movie. Well, Nightmare Before Christmas, I guess the people behind Nightmare Before Christmas always wanted to have a sequel, but never, I guess, had one. I know that they had a video game, and as far as I'm aware, that was like the closest thing to a sequel that we got to Nightmare Before Christmas was a video game. Much like with the Incredibles 2 for like many years, because sure we got the Incredibles 2 now, but for like before that came out like a few years back, I think it was like pre-pandemic, because the first Incredibles movie came out in like the early 2000s, right? So between the release of the Incredibles, the first movie, and the official release of the sequel, which again I forget the uh year that the Incredibles 2 came out, the official movie, but they had a video game, right? That came out pretty much shortly after the first Incredibles movie came out. The plot is definitely vastly different from the movie. So if you guys can go and watch the like cutscenes and the gameplay of the Incredibles 2 game, because that is like I've seen people play it. It's really good. Anyways, getting back to here, let's see what this article has to say, shall we? Don't hold your breath for another movie. Maybe check out this book instead. 1993's Nightmare Before Christmas, directed by Henry Slick and produced by Tim Burton, remains an all-time classic. One of the most instantly recognizable and merchandisable movies around. So why exactly hasn't Disney made a sequel? I'll say this too. It may be also a good thing that Nightmare Before Christmas doesn't have a sequel. And the reason why I'm saying this too, because like I feel like some areas desperately wants to make everything have a sequel, right? And some things are better as just a solo act. So if Nightmare Before Christmas decides not to have a sequel, as much as I would like to see an official Nightmare Before Christmas 2, it may be best. And I'm personally a good attempt with my offshoot sequel in Kingdom Hearts 2, in the Kingdom Hearts games. Anyways, after all, Disney loves sequels. Few of its popular properties have dodged the obligatory continuation, let alone dodges 30 straight years. But Nightmare, Well, Nightmare's missing sequel isn't due to the lack of trying on Disney's part. Over the last 30 years, the House of Mouse had tried more than a few times to get an official Nightmare Before Christmas 2 sequel, Nightmare Before Christmas sequel off the ground, only to have met with objections from Brandon and Selick. Here are the attempts to get another set of skeletal reminder to fly, skeletal reindeer to fly, sorry, that we know about, and a few of the ways that Disney had managed to continue the story of Jack Skellington, Sally, and Halloween Town without officially making a sequel. So a direct sequel. Uh, Disney's first real foray into sequel territory was The Nightmare Before Christmas, started in about 2002, according to Selig, in the 2008 interview with About.com. Nearly a decade after the release of the original film, the director, who has grounded his career in the medium of stop motion animation, said that Disney wanted to ditch the stop motion look for the first movie in favor of CGI for the sequel, which he called unsettling. Selig does admit, however, that the idea of having Jack Skellington fade in other holidays is certainly a tempting one for return to the character. I mean, yeah, sure, it could be cool to see Jack Skellington try to like invade Thanksgiving. What else can he invade? Um, I feel like you can't really do Easter, kind of because they already had the Easter Bunny in the movie. So like, um, well, they'll be able to figure out, but it it'd be an interesting thing to see him try and invade another thing, but also kind of will feel redundant. And I feel like if they do have Jack try to invade another um holiday, that will totally miss. It will make it feel like Jack totally missed the lesson Santa Claus tried to um teach him about. Yeah, might be boring of the whole same thing, but me, Santa Claus is good at Christmas. You, Jack, are good at scaring people. So you should stick what you're good at. Like leave the praying presents, spreading joy around the world to me. I'm as just like I leave the whole scaring people to you. Like that's the only thing that I feel like if they made a sequel, that then that may be like a teachable lesson for kids that they might like risk like seemingly going back on. So like from that perspective, I can understand why they didn't make a sequel. Anyways, Brian, who created Nightmare Before Christmas and produced on the movie, on the other hand, says that he always was opposed. He always been opposed to a sequel. In '06, he told MTV that he protective of the franchise and doesn't like the idea of Jack visits Thanksgiving World, which he thought would ruin the purity of the original. Though a sequel has never actually been off the ground, Selig doesn't completely dismiss it. In an interview with Plaster in 2009, the director said he's open to a sequel if Burstyn came back with the right story. "Quote unquote, it would have to depend. It's a hard thing to top in terms of story. The particular collision of nightmares is perfect. I I don't know if Jack Skellington trying to take over President's Day weekend would be as good. Like I said, it's like also depends on like a holiday too. I feel like Thanksgiving maybe, I don't know. Um Guess he could try Easter, but I kinda feel like it'll be somewhat redundant, especially since they kinda like sold the Easter bunny in the original film. So I don't know. So the first real sequel, The first real sequel, Nightmare Before Christmas, technically has a couple of multimedia sequels, but the first one actually get get released was a video game, The Nightmare Before Christmas: Oogie's Revenge. The hack and slash action game was developed by TOS with a development team that actively sought the advice of several people connected to the film. In fact, the development team flew to Britain's place in England with the PlayStation 2 in hand in order to get his advice on things like the art style of the game. The movie art director, Dean Taylor, was also involved in development. I don't remember if I ever played Oogie's Revenge. Um, but I've heard it's a pretty good sequel, and if they adapt at least elements of that into like the sequel or try to make it their own, then I think it could make a good sequel without like risking going against anything the previous movie already established, like lessons or whatever. Unless like unless unless we get like a official sequel, and I'm not dismissing the game in any way, but for me, the sequel will always be Kingdom Hearts 2 essentially. Where yeah, they had Okie Boki come back through Maleficent, and I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 kind of did their own rendition of Oogie's Revenge. So having Okie Boki come back may be like the only like realistically understandable and good way to have them make a sequel. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But not everything I don't think is needs a sequel. I think Tim Burton is right about Nightmare Before Christmas and like anyone. Anyways, the live action version. For several years since the dawn of Disney line of live action remakes, a rumor has persisted with a live action remake of The Nightmare Before Christmas was on the way. Thankfully, there doesn't seem to have any noise of, of this beyond rumors, and it's clear that Disney is still exploring the property. No surprise considering how popular it's been in the last 30 years. And I have to say, I genuinely don't want a live action um Nightmare Before Christmas. I genuinely don't want that. Um, because I'm kind of tired of Disney saying, "Hey, we're gonna try to remake all of our classics," and like some of remakes that they've been doing, they change a significant amount, and they definitely lose their like the flavor that they had in their animated when I tried to translate into live action. The only one that was back up um in like recent years that Disney's done pretty decent in terms of their live action stuff is the Jungle Book. Everything past the Jungle Book essentially was in my own humble opinion. And like I don't think every classic needs to be remade. Like it could be like ants and like it was alright or ants and like it was bad. Because with me, it could mean like those two different things. Anyways, the second real sequel, another sort of sequel, Nightmare Before Christmas, actually came relatively recent. In 2022, Disney released a book called Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, written by J. Earnshaw, which follows Sally, the main character, after the events of the movie. Even though she's married Jack, she feels out of place as Halloween Town's new pumpkin queen. But once she finds a doorway to somewhere called Dreamtown, she unleashes a threat to Halloween Town that only she can stop. The book explores the other holiday lands near Halloween Town and the greater powers that governs them. Live Long the Pumpkin Queen is also getting a sequel sometime in the near future for Megan Shepherd. Sometime in the near future. from Megan Shepard, who also wrote Nightmare Before Christmas tie-in novelization, which only came out in July. Um, and I think like I know some people might like I don't know how some people feel about a Sally driven sequel, but I think like if they like took that plot, which sounds actually pretty decent. I actually am digging that plot of the Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. If they took that plot and made it a movie, I wouldn't be opposed to Nightmare Before Christmas 2, to be honest. And I don't think many people would be opposed to Nightmare Before Christmas 2. Um, Especially if they get the execution right down. Oh, the Long Live the Pumpkin Queen movie could be debatably the best Disney movie that I've seen since potentially like Avatar 2. So I think like I said, I would be up for that. This to be made into a movie. I don't know. Despite the smattering of random follow-ups, spin-offs, and failed projects, it's still surprising that Disney has never successfully gotten a full sequel, The Nightmare Before Christmas, off the ground. But with Selig still somewhat interested, at least of a decade ago, it's possible Burton could decide that it's time to revisit Jack and Sally and their adventures through Halloween Town. Again, not everything needs a sequel. I don't think everything needs a sequel. Sorry. Um, and but like if they do, I hope they do it based off like Oogie Free Friends or the Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, because those two do um interest me. I don't think they should go have Jack going to another holiday because I feel that will be redundant to the plot. Um, but like I said, not everything needs a sequel. I'll be fine. On one hand, I will be fine. Like as long as they do the right story at right execution, I'll be fine with them making a sequel. But on the other hand, I wouldn't want them to because I can see Nightmare Before Christmas easily being a one and done thing. So, anyways, and I did hear was I'll also make a make a description in the video where because I did make a video about this. I did hear on October 20th, which is coming up, that in celebration of Nightmare Before Christmas turning 30, that Nightmare Before Christmas is going to be re-released in some theaters. So that must be exciting, right? So, anyways, what do you guys know? Oh, about that in English premise. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Got anyone out there? I will talk to you. Tell me just later.